I, Muhammad Latiff, being a Muslim, do hereby solemnly, sincerely, and truly affirm and declare that the evidence I shall give at this examination will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And thereafter, prior to the up to the day of the blast, did you receive any further instructions or any further material or whatever?
Unfortunately, no.
Sorry?
Unfortunately, no.
No. Why did you say unfortunately no?
No. I said unfortunately no because on the 20th, on the 19th of April, the director of the SIS reached me and got my opinion concerning the explosion which did take place on the 16th of April 2019 19th because I was out of the country to present a paper on the International Drug Enforcement Agency, and I came back on the 19th morning to the island, 19th morning. So the director of the SIS reached me and asked it. Then I told, as I landed, I gave a call to the Inspection of Police to his residence and told that at 7 in the morning and told I returned to the island. And then I gave a call to the then Secretary of Defense, Mr. Himsif, and said that I returned back to the island after overseas stint because it went on an official visit. And then the director of the SIS reached me and I told him I had just arrived from overseas and I'll get back to him. Then I contacted my zonal commander who was based in M.R, Supreme of Police, Mr. Atula Ratnayak, and then he told about this. I told, speak to the post-blast investigators who went to the scene from the Special Task Force and get their opinion. Then they told there was explosion and so forth, and there were pellets which are this thing, and it seems to be a trial explosion, and there were some pellets, and it was a scooty. They had identified the police investigation. And they had come to know only on the 17th morning. All the explosion did take place on the 16th night. The police had demonstrations that it was due to lightning, it was rain and thunder and lightning and so forth. But on 17th morning, when they heard that there was explosion, they went to the scene. So I gave a call on the 19th. Based on that feedback, I gave a call to the direct SIS and told of my findings. And even during my interaction, when I called the IG police on the 19th morning at 7 o'clock.
You called the IGP?
I called the IG. On his landline, I have my records as well. And I spoke to the Secretary, Minister of Defense at that time, Mr. Himsif. I spoke to him, not as a protocol that I returned back to the island after my overseas official visit. Then I spoke to Direct SIS, and the conversation only was confined, where the SIS was concerned, only to my input of the explosion, of my views of the explosion.
Explosion that took place on the 16th?
19th.
Explosion that took place
on the 16th.
Right.
And after that, on the day of the attack?
On the day of the attack...
Did you receive any further instructions or information?
The first call I got from the Inspection of Police was on the 21st April, on Easter Sunday. The IG called me on my mobile. It was around 9:05 or 9:10, I have my records. And he told there's some explosion. There's explosion at this thing. I told I heard our teams are moving, this thing. And then he called me again, told there's another explosion at Shangri-La. I told I heard about it and our teams are moving.
You mentioned that the IGP had forwarded this for necessary action to 4 persons. You were one of those. Now from that also you knew what the possible targets could be. And from the annexure to the document, not only are the types of attacks, but also the possible targets also have been detailed. Churches.
Yeah, they told only about one specific target, the Indian High Commission.
Yeah, Indian High Commission,
And
churches
then
and hotels.
target some important, no, not about hotels, only about
Not about hotels, I'm sorry.
some important.
Churches.
It is also revealed that they are planning to target some important churches.
Right. Now, from those information, now you took the initiative to check with the Indian High Commission. Right? You did not do anything about the churches. No. Why was that?
No, because one thing, there are no specifics.
Right.
One thing, the other thing is that when there is security and, for example, if there is a requirement, this thing, IG makes a request or the senior DIGs make a request concerning assistance of the STF. For example, I have, this is 321 from the 1st of April. These are requests which IG has made in writing, which the senior DIGs have made, assistance of the STF, so which we attain. So the inference I had was that if there's a request for where churches are concerned, I know that there is in the post-conflict policing, this thing that there is a community policing roadmap where there are a lot of committees. Committees where civil defense committees are coming in, then advisory committees are there, multi-faith committees are there, multi-ethnic committees are there, and so forth are there. So I was under the influence saying that the territorial policing will attend to the church system, and if they required stiff assistance for additional security or for searches or for this thing, then they would have made a request to us.
So neither the IGP nor the senior DIG Western Province made any request of you for STF assistance.
And the other thing is that I know for a fact that every Tuesday intelligence and various organizations meet to review on a lot of things. So on this thing, if the STF was an important component, task this thing, the STF commandant or a representative from the STF would have definitely be invited for the Tuesday, the review meetings. So that was a forum where this, since the information, what we generally do is if there's we raise queries, okay, there is a report which has been sent, have you got any further information on that? Then there's this thing. So the missing links in the jigsaw puzzle will fit by various agencies who are there, okay, they have a piece, so that then we can tell, okay, what we have to do it.
So that intelligence coordination meeting is a very important.
It's a very important meeting, but the STF has never been a part of that meeting, in spite of the fact that previous other meetings at headquarters, a suggestion have been made to the Inspection of Police that the STF would also like to be in that meeting in order, because we are providing security to the His Excellency President, the Honorable Prime Minister, and
you were requested to provide a specific expertise that the STF had with regard to a blast that had occurred in the Eastern Province just 5 days before
16th.
This incident, 5 days, 16th, 25th.
Yes, 25th.
So you had done that also.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, what would you say about the Eastern Province DIG not being sent that note?
And actually in the backdrop of the 16th attack, what happened, I think it would have been prudent if this information should have been shared with the senior Eastern Province as well, because if the headquarters, if IG knew that the backdrop of these gentlemen, because all of them are originating from the Eastern Province.
Yeah.
So because of that, because although I was not aware, for the first time I heard about this name only with this letter, and I knew that if they had more information on this, they would have definitely shared, because there should be actionable intelligence or information to go on that. That is why on the 21st, just after the attack, there was a inquiry made from headquarters saying that, okay, what is the action you took to this thing by? On the 21st evening, we were working round the clock on 21st and I was in office. Then immediately on the 21st itself, I responded to the inspection of police saying that this is what I said, this is what I did. And to act on this information, if the names, the addresses, contact numbers, or some identity of or location of these suspected terrorists were shared, we would have definitely.
We have evidence before this committee that says that there was an intelligence coordination meeting that was held on the 9th of April. Right? The same date that is on that letter. We have evidence that although information had been shared with the intelligence agency in Sri Lanka on the 4th and 5th of April, on the 9th meeting, at the meeting on the 9th, this matter was not even discussed. You were not part of that meeting.
No, I know.
You were not even invited for that meeting.
Not even to date, I have not been invited.
Even now, intelligence coordination meeting, STF is not invited. But on the ground, on operations on this, you are heavily involved. So how do you, I mean, they have information that they share at that meeting to which you are not privy. And you are expected to act in the dark. So you have a request, have you requested that you be present?
I made a request. I told if the STF is a component, important. I heard through the media, electronic and print media, that now everyone says that the STF should have prevented it. But for the STF to act, STF should have the actionable intelligence, and STF, a request should be made by those who have the information.
But STF, doesn't the STF also have an intelligence unit?
Yeah, we had an intelligence unit. Actually, the intelligence unit was formed for counterintelligence work. For example, we do from the blast on the Parliament attack on the 12th of August 1987. That's where we formed the VIP security division. So we have for route security, counterintelligence, to keep a tab on who comes in, visitors. And we got the intelligence unit, especially when we were entrusted with the task of crimes, organized crimes and narcotics. We got them engaged for that purpose exclusively.
So your intelligence unit did not pick up any of these trends in the eastern province?
No. Because most of our intelligence units were based in the western province in order for this thing. In the eastern province, we thought that there are two premier intelligence agencies operating in the east, so they thought that if there is anything very urgency of this, they will definitely communicate to us, because STF intelligence is basically on based for counter-terrorism and purposes, not for national security basis.
In view of the fact that possible attacks on churches were specifically mentioned, were any steps taken in regard to that in the eastern province?
No, not specifically. Not specifically. Because in the eastern province...
I asked these questions because the IGP, Mr. Jayasundara, when giving evidence, referred to you, your organization, the STF, and said, ඊළඟට ප්‍රභු ආරක්ෂක VIP security කටයුතු සම්බන්ධයෙන් ජනාධිපති ආරක්ෂාව හා අගමැති ආරක්ෂාව පිළිබඳ සාමාන්‍ය නිලධාරීන්ට අමතරව විශේෂ ආරක්ෂක විධාන ලබන්නේ විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකාය මගින්. ඊට අමතරව විශේෂයෙන් උතුරු නැගෙනහිර ප්‍රදේශයන්හි අනෙකුත් ප්‍රදේශයන්හි සියලුම කඳවුරු සහ ඒ සම්බන්ධීකරණ තුලින් මැතිතුමනි පොලිසිය සාමාන්‍යයෙන් චෝදනාවක් තිබුණේ නැත්නම් not very clear, but there's a reference. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකාය අත්‍යවශ්‍ය හේතුවකදී එයාට දැනුම් දීලා එකට එකතු වෙලා කොට්ටාස මට්ටමින් තමයි මෙහෙයුම් සිදු කරන්නේ.
As I said earlier, මම මුලින් කිව්වා වගේ අපිට දැන් මේ වගේ ඉල්ලීම් කරනවා. ජේෂ්ඨ නියෝජ්‍ය පළාත් බාහිර ජේෂ්ඨ නියෝජ්‍ය පොලිස්පතිවරුන් ඉල්ලීම් කරනවා මේවා උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් උත්සවයක් තිබ්බා නම් මහජන මොකක්කාරී ආගමික උත්සවයක් ප්‍රසිද්ධ උත්සවයක් මහජනයායන මේකක් ඇවිල්ලා මේ සිද්ධියට ප්‍රථම වුණත් ඒගොල්ලන් කියනවා විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකායේ සූසියක් කරන්න මාර්ග සූසියක් කරලා ආරක්ෂාව තහවුරු කරන්න වට ආරක්ෂාව මේව කරන්න එහෙම නැත්නම් සූසි කරන්න කියලා රික්වෙස්ට් එකක් අපිට එනවා. එතකොට රික්වෙස්ට් එකක් ආපු ගාම අපි ඊට සමගාමීව ඊට අවශ්‍යතාවයන් සැලකිල්ලට භාජනය කළා අපි ඒකාබද්ධව සහයෝගය දෙනවා. ඉතින් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකායට ඍජුවම අපේ මුලින් අර අපරාධ සංවිධානාත්මක අපරාධ ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව අපිට නිල වශයෙන් දීලා තියෙනවා මේ පාරිසරික වැරදි සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේව කරන්න කියලා. ඒ ඇරෙන්න වෙනත් මේවලට අවශ්‍ය යන පොලිස්පතිතුමා විසින් අපිට ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා. ඉල්ලීමක් කළාම තමයි අපි ඒ කර්තව්‍යයට අපි මේව කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට නැගෙනහිර පළාතෙන් එවැනි සුවිශේෂ මේකක් තිබ්බනම් අඩු ගානේ මේ කට්ටිය ගැන මේ ත්‍ස්තවාදීන් ගැන මොකක්ද තිබ්බනම් රික්වෙස්ට් දැන් උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් මේ සංවිධානාත්මක අපරාධ සැකකරුවන් එක් තැනකින් වෙන තැනකට ගෙනියන අවස්ථාවේදී පොලිස්පති විසින් අපිට ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා විශේෂ කාර්ය බලක ආරක්ෂාවක් දෙන්න මොකද මෙතන එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. එතකොට තමයි අපි ආරක්ෂාව එන්නේ නැත්නම් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් තමයි යොදවන්නේ.
Would you say that the information have been, now you all are coming in as counter-terrorism, right? What's the role of the STF? You come to support or do you give your expert opinions on certain backgrounds that are there? What is, how does the STF intercept?
The role of the STF was redefined during the post-conflict, post-war situation. One of the roles which was in addition to providing protective security operations or VIP security, we were told to support or augment the police in their role in maintaining law and order. The law and orders fell into three categories. One is public order management, that is crowd means riots, protests, handling protests and unlawful assemblies. Then thereafter organized crimes and narcotics.